The Toronto Raptors are currently the second best team in the Eastern Conference. Scottie Barnes is playing like an all-NBA player, RJ Barrett is hooping, Brandon Ingram is helping turn this team into a top 10 offense, and Darko Rajakovic, he's pretty hyped as well. And you know what? He should be hyped, because the Raptors were never supposed to do this, according to what everyone predicted, at least. Just take, for instance, NBA.com, who had 4 different experts predict the Eastern Conference standings for this year. Where do you think those guys ranked the Raptors? Top 6? Top 8? Not a single one of those predictions had Toronto in the top 10 of the East, and it was the same all across the board. The Raptors were written off, despite having a healthy Brandon Ingram, despite a new season of Scottie Barnes, and despite the signs that we saw in the second half of last year. No one thought Toronto would be better than a play-in team. Well, 18 games into the season, and they are 8 games above 500, and the man most responsible for the Raptors' success isn't Brandon Ingram, who has been great and just had 37 points versus Cleveland. It's not Darko Rajakovic, it's Scottie Barnes. Because you can look at this Raptors roster and see 3 guys averaging almost the same amount of points. In fact, even the assist numbers are pretty close. And you might question who the best player on this team truly is. I'm gonna save you guys the time. It's Scottie Barnes, because not only has he been their best offensive player or neck and neck with Brandon Ingram, but when it comes to the other side of the ball, he is the Raptors' best defender, and it's not even close. No, batted out, denied by Scottie! And this is what makes Scottie Barnes special. He is a fun offensive player to watch, and a really effective offensive player, despite some people trying to clown him for not having the deepest bag ever. But defensively, oh, he can do everything. Just look at him on this play where Embiid gets the ball at the 3-point line. He tries to drive into the chest of Scottie. Scottie takes the bump and then just swats him at the rim. And if you want to see even more versatility, how about Scottie rushing out to block Mobley at the 3-point line before then getting the kick-ahead pass from BI and just effortlessly getting to the rim? Who else is making plays like this, where he's guarding Jalen Johnson in transition? He then switches onto Okongwu in the post, and the Hawks make the mistake of trying Scottie in the post as he swats Okongwu. You could spend an entire video showing you just what Scottie can do on the defensive end. Because whilst everyone wants to talk about the Thompson twins and Wemby and Evan Mobley, all guys who I love by the way, Scottie Barnes deserves to be in those conversations just as a defensive player. Well, aside from Wemby, because we all know he's just a bit different. But Scottie, his defensive versatility, his playmaking, his energy, his rebounding, his shot blocking, and his ability to get in the passing lanes, it makes him one of the most unique and one of the most impactful defenders in the entire NBA. And honestly, Scottie is a victim of his own standards. He started his career so strong, winning Rookie of the Year, putting up great numbers and helping the Raptors make the playoffs, that people look at his numbers now and over the last few years and assume he hasn't developed as much as other players. But just because he's not averaging 25 points a night doesn't mean he hasn't improved in every single aspect on offense and on defense. And the benefit of now having a guy like BI is Scottie doesn't have to be the number 1 option on defense and the best defender. Now you have a guy who can be the co-star alongside him and step up when you need him to do that. And that's exactly what Brandon Ingram has done this season. Because he might not be averaging his career best numbers, but this is exactly what Toronto needed. They needed someone who could take and make tough shots, who could command defensive attention, who can have games like he just did against the Cavs, where he did everything, hitting threes, turnarounds, pull-up jumpers, you name it, he can do it. And this is what I love about this Raptors team. They aren't relying on one player to save them. Any player on this team can get hot and be the best player on the floor on any given quarter, on any given night. And when I say any player, we need to talk about the real best signing of this offseason. Shout out Brandon Ingram. Yeah, you scored 37 points. That's cool. I'm talking about Sandro Mamashvili, or should we just call him Mamu? And I'm only half joking, because as great as Scottie, BI, and RJ have been, the top 3 players for this team for plus minus are Grady Dick, Jamison Battle, and Mamu. And I know plus minus isn't everything, but for anyone who has watched the Raptors this year, the starters have been really good, the bench has been phenomenal. And the star of this bench is Mamu, because when the Raptors signed Mamu in the offseason for $2.7 million a year, he was not the backup big that everyone was talking about. Everyone was talking about Yabusele, they were talking about Lopez, even Drew Eubanks recently signed a $10 million contract. Listen to me right now, Mamu is better than every single one of those players combined. It's because what he does for this team off the bench is invaluable. His hustle, his three-point shooting, spacing the floor, getting out in transition. He does literally everything. And the recent game against Cleveland was the perfect example. With the Raptors trailing when Mamu checked into the game for the first quarter, he proceeded to take over. He started things off by drilling back-to-back corner threes, but he didn't stop there, because a few minutes later, this time watch Mamu help over to stop the initial drive, forcing the pass, and then look at his ability to recover and block the second attempt at the rim, before then with Dick getting the ball, with Dick getting the ball and trying to finish, I said, stop. Look who is there to clean it up. And then, just because he's the GOAT, he decided, why not drop a dime to Jamal Shed? And the guy he dropped a dime to, yeah, Jamal Shed, I could say all of the same things about his impact. They might be a foot apart in height, but the energy, the intangibles, the effort, the three-point shooting, both of these guys have brought it off the Raptors bench every single night. And this goes for the entire bench, not just these two guys. Even the rookie Colin Murray-Boyles, who's probably been the most underrated rookie in the league so far. Not only has he been giving you some decent production as a scorer, but some of the traits we hope to see on defense, we are already seeing. Just like here with him pressing past half court, and look at the quickness to jump on that loose pass and then keep it in play. And honestly, this is just an encapsulation of the Raptors as a whole and what has made them great. And when you look around the league, OKC, Detroit, Phoenix, Toronto, what do all of these teams that I just mentioned have in common? They play hard every single night. It sounds simple, but honestly, playing with effort can be the biggest difference in the NBA. And that is one thing I have loved about Toronto, in addition to the skill, the ball movement, and Darko Rajakovic as well. I'm just happy to see Toronto back towards the top of the Eastern Conference again. And Mamu is the GOAT. That's all I can say.